Welcome to this Winnovative Technology Consulting Inside Small Biz CRM Quick Tip. And this time we're talking about the relationship between company records and linked contacts. And this is something that has been around in ACT now for a while, going back at least initially to ACT 2005 that was introduced in the fall of 2004. So it's been a little while, but it still can be a little confusing, and for those folks who maybe are just getting into using company records or haven't really explored this, thought some clarification was in order. There's several different ways to affiliate contact records with a company record, and right now we're in ACT 2010. We're looking at the demo database, and we're looking at the detail for a company record. And for this particular company record, we see here on the Contacts tab within the company record, we have about a half dozen or so contact records that are associated or linked with the company record. If I go ahead and click Add Remove Contacts, it'll help us to find out who in fact is linked. And we see that there's a couple of different rules that are applying here. Linked contacts are those that have been specifically selected to be linked to the company record, and we'll talk about how to do that in another quick tip. But for the sake of argument, in this case we see we've got several contacts that are in fact linked, whereas there may be some who are more loosely coupled to the company record, and we'll talk about that in another quick tip also. One of the reasons that you would link a contact record to a company record, two that come to mind. One is you'll notice or know that a contact is in fact linked to a particular company record when you see in the company field for a contact record. Okay, we're now looking at Ernst Anderson of a contact record. His company field is blue and it's underlined, and that's telling us that that's a link. So if I go ahead and click on this, it's a hot link. I can jump over to the company record. If I click Ernst's name again, it brings me back to his contact record. Down at the bottom in the Groups in Companies field or tab, he may have numerous companies because a contact can be affiliated in some fashion with multiple companies, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he's linked. It's only if this is underlined in blue that he's in fact linked. Now, once a contact record is linked to a company record, one of the things that this provides for is that there are certain fields that are shared or linked also. And if I'm not sure what those fields are, I can go up here to the Companies menu if I'm in Companies, or the Contact menu if I'm in Contacts, and notice that there's a choice here that says View Linked Fields. By clicking on that, I can see for this particular database that these fields have been linked to the contact fields. So the company fields are on the left, the contact fields are on the right, and we see that address 1 is to address 2, etc. What a linked field means is that if I make a change to any of these company fields in the company record, my linked contacts can be updated. So let's try and see what exactly that means. So we see, for example, address 2 is linked, right? So if I go here and I'm on the company record and I highlight my address 2 field and I type in the word train, when I go ahead and hit the save button, or if I was to move to another company record, it'll trigger the next thing. So I'm going to click save, and notice what it's saying. It's saying, would you like to update contacts linked to this company with the changes you made? Again, if I hadn't just looked, I could look back and see, well, what fields are we talking about? And I can either choose to push those updates out. So in this case, if I want to push the value of train in address 2 to all of the linked contacts, I could do that, or I could choose not to. For sake of our example, I'm going to say no. So I've updated my company record by saying no to updating linked contacts. If I go down and take a look at Betty Browser, we see no address 2. The word train's not in there, okay? Because I said do not update my linked contacts. But let's make another change, and here's something to be mindful of, a caveat. I'm going to change it from the abbreviation street to the word street, and again I'm going to click save. And this time it says, would you like to update contacts linked to this company with the change you made? And what I'm looking to point out here is that this is a little bit deceiving. This makes it sound like if I go ahead and hit yes, that only the change that I just made now, the word street, is going to be pushed out. But the point that I want to make sure you understand is that in fact any changes that were made prior to any of these fields, whether they were made just now or some other time, such as when we put train in address to, is going to be pushed out also. So you have to understand that when you say do this update, it's all of the view linked fields. They're all going to be updated. I'll go ahead and click yes for sake of our training. And now if I drill down into one of my linked contacts, I see that not only was the word street updated as we anticipated, but train from address to was also pushed out to the contacts. So that's just a little something to keep in mind, is that if you had something you did not want to push out, linked fields between linked contacts and linked companies is an all or nothing proposition. So there you have it. Quick description of linked fields between contacts and linked companies in Act 2005 on up through 2010. And just one little reminder to keep in mind is that with Act 2005 you could not define your own linked fields. They were hard-coded, just a certain number, but I believe starting in Act 2007 and newer you were able to define your own linked fields, and that can even be with custom fields. Thank you for listening to this Winnovative Technology Consulting Inside Small Biz CRM Quick Tip. See you next time.